Welcome to the shadow frequency, where the veil between this world and the next grows thin, and the things that whisper in the dark are given voice. From the cryptic candlelit studios, deep in the Indiana forests, your host, Matt Wilson, and his spectral producer, Juniper Ravenwood, unearth the forbidden, the forgotten, and the fearsome. So, still your heart, dim the light, and listen closely. For once you tune into the shadow frequency, you may never tune out.
Oh boy, she's in the cabinet again. Brace yourselves, folks.
Matt, why is there a fossilized spider in here wearing a tiny gold crown?
Wait, hold up. A crowned fossil spider?
Yeah, and it's humming very quietly.
Juniper, that thing is definitely extinct and definitely shouldn't be humming.
Right? I feel like if I make eye contact with it, it'll file a royalty claim.
Do not give the spider monarch legal ideas. Chris will have to handle the paperwork, and the last time he did that, he fell asleep halfway through an invoice.
Noted. Okay, little crown guy, back you go. Don't start a dynasty. Gently, gently. Okay, let's see. Skipping past the jar labeled "Don't Tap," the VHS tape that screams when you rewind it. And nope, absolutely not touching the marionette with human teeth.
Yeah, leave that one for Chris, too.
Got it. Tonight's Folger, episode 253, the Sherman Ranch, Shadows on the Basin.
Perfect, the Uintah Basin. Home of high strangeness, cattle disappearing like smoke, lights that defy physics, and something watching from the scrublands.
And we're diving straight into the Sherman's first encounters, the fear, the disbelief, the shadows that seemed to move even when the air didn't.
Strap in, folks. Whatever walked that ranch wasn't shy, and it wasn't alone.
From the humming fossils to the humming skies, welcome back to the Shadow Frequency Podcast.
I'm Matt Wilson.
I'm Juniper Ravenwood. And this is episode
253,
the Sherman
Ranch.
Shadows on the Basin.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. Hosted by Matt Wilson. Produced by Juniper Ravenwood. With Chris Beach. The darkness continues.
Picture this. It's a crisp autumn evening in 1994, and the sun dips low over Utah's Uintah Basin, painting the endless scrubland in blood-red hues. The air hangs heavy with the scent of sagebrush and distant rain, and out there, where the last gravel road peters out into nothing but dust and dreams, a family pulls up to what should be their fresh start. 480 acres of rolling pasture, perfect for cattle, whispering promises of quiet nights under a sky so vast it could swallow secrets whole. But as the engine cuts off, something stirs in the wind, a low hum, almost like the earth itself is breathing too loud. This is the Sherman Ranch, folks, a place where the veil between worlds frays just enough to let the shadows slip through. Tonight on the Shadow Frequency, we're peeling back the layers of one of the most chilling tales from the American West, a ranch haunted not by ghosts of the past, but by hungers from somewhere else. Matt, you ready to step into the basin?
Oh, Juniper, I've got my boots laced and my night vision goggles fogging up already.
Yeah.
If this doesn't make you double-check the locks on your own back door, nothing will.
Right.
We're talking impossible beasts, skies cracking open like eggshells, and a family who walked into paradise only to find it gnawing at their heels. Strap in, listeners. This one's got teeth.
Teeth is right. Let's let the static settle and hand it over to you, Matt. Take us deep into the basin.
All right, friends, thanks to Juniper for digging into the file cabinet and pulling out this dusty old dossier. It's like she knew I needed a good shiver. Episode 253, The Sherman Ranch, Shadows on the Basin. Let's crack this thing open and step back to 1994, when Terry and Gwen Sherman, a couple of hard-working cattle folks, with stars in their eyes and mud on their jeans, decided it was time for a big move. They'd scraped together enough to chase that classic American dream, wide-open land in Utah's Uintah Basin, where the horizons stretch like they're daring you to fill them. The Myers Ranch, that's what it was called then, popped up on their radar like a mirage made real. 480 acres of prime pasture, dotted with scrub and sage, the kind of spot where your herd could fatten up fat and happy under that big, endless sky. No neighbors for miles, just the wind whispering through the rocks and the occasional coyote yip to keep things lively. Terry and Gwen load up the truck with their 2 kids, a teenager and a wide-eyed 10-year-old, their best breeding stock, and enough optimism to choke a horse. They rumble down that final dirt track, tires crunching like brittle bones, and pull up to the old homestead. It's weathered, sure, but solid. A ranch house with a wraparound porch, outbuildings that could shelter a dozen dreams. They shake hands with the sellers, fork over the cash, and think, this is it, our slice of forever. But even on that first tour, something nags at them. The doors. Every single one, front, back, even the creaky ones leading to the cellar, sport heavy deadbolts that lock them from both sides. Cabinets in the kitchen have padlocks dangling like forgotten warnings. Windows? Barred with thick iron rods, the kind you'd see on a fortress, not a family farm. Terry scratches his head, asks the previous owners point blank why the place looks like it's bracing for siege. They mumble something about wild animals and security, but their eyes dart away, like they've seen too much to say it out loud. Gwen feels it first, a prickle on the back of her neck, like the land's got eyes. But hey, it's remote out there. Bears, maybe? Mountain lions? They chalk it up to overcautious folks and settle in, unpacking boxes under the flicker of lantern light as the basin swallows the sun whole. That first night, sleep comes uneasy. The kids claim they hear whispers in the walls, like dry leaves rustling secrets. But Terry laughs it off. Old house settling, wind playing tricks. Come morning, though, the real welcome wagon rolls up. Terry's out checking the fence line, coffee steaming in his hand, when he spots it, a wolf. Not your scraggly prairie mutt, no, this thing's a monster. Shoulders broad as a man's waist, coat gleaming black in the dawn light. It's calm, too calm, padding right up to the calf pen like it owns the place. The calf bleats, panicked, and before Terry can blink, those jaws clamp down, crunch, like snapping a wishbone. He grabs his rifle, heart hammering, and unloads point blank. The shots echo off the ridges. Close enough, he smells the powder scorch its fur. The wolf doesn't flinch, doesn't yelp, just releases the calf, still kicking, somehow, and trots off into the brush, leaving no blood, no paw prints in the soft dirt. Just gone. Terry stands there, rifle smoking, staring at the empty earth where the track should be. Gwen runs out, kids peeking from the door, and they all feel it now. The basin's awake, and it's got a hunger that bullets can't touch. Word of the wise, listeners, if you're picturing some mangy stray, think again. This wasn't natural. Locals later whispered about skinwalkers, those Navajo shapeshifters who wear hides like cloaks and prowl the night with eyes like dying coals. But Terry? He's no believer in folklore. Or wasn't. Not until the nights start lighting up like faulty fireworks. Picture this, moonless black, stars punched out one by one, and then, there. Glowing orbs, blue as drowned sapphires, zipping across the pasture like they're hunting. Not random fireflies, no. These things dart with purpose, dipping low over the herd, making the cows low and stampede in blind terror. The family dogs, they're losing their minds, hackles up, barking at shadows that swallow sound. Gwen swears she sees shapes in the glow, structured craft, rectangles humming silent over the ridge, long cigar forms slicing the dark without a whisper of engine. One night, Terry grabs binoculars, heart in his throat, and watches a disc the size of a barn hover stock still, then blink out like a snuffed candle. No heat, no wind, just absence. And the air after? It tastes wrong, charged, like before a storm that never breaks. But it's not just the sky playing games. Oh no, the real gut punch comes when the veil starts tearing. Terry's out mending wire one dusk, sweat stinging his eyes, when the air shimmers, like heat off asphalt, but colder. A rectangle rips open midair, 10 feet tall, edges flickering like bad TV static. Through it, not Utah scrub, lush jungle, vines twisting in a breeze that doesn't touch the ranch. And inside, dark silhouettes, humanoid but wrong, elongated limbs folding like origami nightmares. One steps through, just steps as casual as crossing a threshold from your kitchen to the hall. It's tall, featureless black, eyes like yellow slits catching the last light. It tilts its head, appraises the fence, then melts back into the tear, which seals with a pop like breaking glass. Terry bolts for the house, pounding on the door, babbling to Gwen about portals to hell. She believes him when her own turn comes, a low-slung shadow slinking past the kitchen window, yellow eyes gleaming, body hunched like a predator from a fever dream. It doesn't charge, just watches, patient, like it's memorizing their scents. Inside, the house turns traitor. Tools vanish from the workbench, only to clatter back into the fridge next to the milk. Grocery bags unpack themselves, cans rolling across the counter in neat rows while Gwen freezes, breath fogging the air. Voices murmur from empty rooms, gibberish laced with English words like leave hiss through gritted teeth. Doors swing wide on their own, slamming shut with force enough to rattle the foundations. The kids huddle in bed, claiming shadows stretch too long on the walls, fingers reaching from the corners. And the cattle? God, the cattle. That's when the basin shows its teeth. Prize bulls, sleek and fat, round carved like holiday roasts. No blood, no struggle marks, just surgical slices removing ears, eyes, organs with precision that screams otherworldly. One cow drops mid-morning, Terry watching from the porch. 10 minutes later, it's gutted, the ground pristine. Nearly a dozen gone over those first few months, each loss a knife to the wallet and the soul. The herd's skittish now, pressing close to the barn like they know what's coming. Folks, imagine it. You're pouring your life into this land and it starts pouring back. Cold, curious, cruel. The Shermans aren't sleeping anymore. They're listening, waiting for the next rip, the next glow, the next shape that doesn't belong. And out there in the basin, under that ancient sky, something listens back. You know, lying in bed after nights like that, staring at the ceiling, you start wondering if the stars are just pinholes in a bigger cage. What's watching us from the other side?
Matt, that wolf bit, I'm checking my windows twice tonight.
Yeah.
Uneasy doesn't even cover it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the lamb's got a pulse, and it's syncing with mine.
Hang tight, basin dwellers. We've only scratched the surface of the Sherman's nightmare. When we come back, we'll dive into the breaking point and what happens when the shadows decide to buy the farm. Over to you, Juniper.
Phew, if that first half didn't have you glancing over your shoulder, I don't know what will. The Shermans stepped into a dream that turned devourer. Portals, beasts, skies alive with eyes. What would you do if your own backyard started whispering back? Listeners, get us up with your thoughts, but first, a quick word from Chris.
Cheers, Juniper. If the shadows have drawn you in, stay a while. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, or wherever you tune in to your favourite podcasts. Dive deeper at shadowfrequencypodcast.com. There, you can explore our complete episode archive, check out our Shadow blog for deeper dives into each case, snag some exclusive merch, or even help support the show by buying us a coffee. And here's something fun. Leave us a voicemail on the site, and tell us where in the world you're listening from. You just might hear yourself on the next episode. Take it away, Juniper.
Time to crank up the ethereal ether receiver, flipping the dials, tuning through the cosmic hiss. There we go, locking onto a faint signal from the void. Let's see what ethereal missive materializes this time. Ah, look at this, a crumpled parchment fluttering out of the fog, sealed with a wax drift that smells suspiciously like sea salt and old vinyl. Shall we unroll it and eavesdrop on what our shadowy cinder's sharing? This says, I'm Met in Juniper. My name's Elena V., writing from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I stumbled onto the shadow frequency a few months back on Spotify, and ever since then, your show has basically become the soundtrack to my late-night drives along the coast. I'm usually heading home from my evening shift around 11 p.m., and there's something about those foggy Atlantic roads that just fits with the way you two tell a story. The combination of ocean wind, empty highways, and your creepy sound design. Perfect atmosphere. I'm especially hooked on your haunting episodes and anything involving lost history or weird conspiracies. The ones with strange time slips or old buildings that seem to remember things long after they should. Those are the episodes that stay with me long after I pulled into my driveway. Thanks for keeping the nights interesting up here on the coast. Stay weird and keep the static rolling. Elena V. Oh, Elena, you've got me grinning through the goosebumps. Those fog-shrouded drives sound like a perfect haunt for our kind of tales. Lost time slips and buildings with grudges. That's the good stuff. The kind that lingers like mist on your windshield. Thanks for riding shotgun with us. Your roads just got a little weirder. And hey, if any of you out there have your own coastal chills or basin-born brushes with the beyond, be them our way. Remember, email is shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. All right, Matt, static's clearing. Back to you for the shadows that wouldn't quit.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. The darkness continues.
Thanks, Juniper and Elena from Halifax. You're a gem. Love hearing how these stories hitch a ride with you on those misty nights. Keep the frequency alive. Folks, if the first half had you peering into the dark, buckle up. This is where the basin bites back. We're picking up right where we left off. The Shermans hunkered down in their barricaded ranch house, the Uintah night pressing in like a living thing. By late 94, early 95, the anomalies aren't just popping up, they're escalating, like whatever's out there caught wind of fresh blood and decided to feast. Terry's out on night watch more often than not, rifle in one hand, flashlight in the other, but the beam just carves weak tunnels in the black. One evening, he's scanning the ridge when the air thickens again, that telltale shimmer. Another portal, this one wider, framed in wavering orange light like embers in fog. Through it, not jungle this time, but a barren waste, red dust swirling under twin moons that pulse like heartbeats. And stepping out, not one figure, but three, tall, lanky shadows with arms too long, moving jerky like marionettes cut loose. They don't approach, just stand there, heads cocked, as if tasting the air. Terry freezes, breath shallow, until a dog explodes from the brush, charging with teeth bared. The figures dissolve. Not run, dissolve, like smoke yanked by wind, sucked back through the tear that snaps shut behind them. He stumbles home, white as the ghost he half believes in now. And Gwen, she's nodding, because the poltergeists in the house have gone from playful to pissed. Picture groceries levitating from the counter, cans orbiting like planets in a mad solar system before crashing down. Tools from the shed reappear in the kids' rooms, a wrench under a pillow like a tooth fairy's grim joke. And the voices? Oh, the voices. Gwen's alone in the kitchen one afternoon, chopping onions for stew. When it starts, low murmurs overlapping like a crowd in a distant room. Closer, one hisses, clear as a lover's breath. Watch, another giggles, child's voice from no child. She drops the knife, backs into the hall, and watches the stove light flicker on. Blue flames dancing higher, hotter, until the room smells of ozone and regret. The doors? They're slamming now in rhythm, like applause from the walls, trapping the family in a game of musical chairs where the price is sanity. One night, the teenager swears a hand, cold, boneless, brushed his ankle under the bed, pulling it like it wanted company. Sleep becomes a luxury they can't afford. Out on the land, the predators multiply. That impossible wolf returns, but it's not alone. Low-slung things slink through the mesquite, bellies dragging, yellow eyes like lanterns in the murk. Hyena wrong, too sleek for coyotes, too silent for anything earthly. They don't howl, they click, bones rattling in throats that aren't made for it. Terry blasts at one of them from the porch, sees it shrug off the shot like rain, then vanish mid-stride. And the invisible ones? Worse. Cows vanish in broad daylight, only to reappear miles off, flayed with precision. Rectal coring 6 inches deep, eyeballs scooped clean, tongues gone, no blood to paint the grass. The incisions? Laser neat, cauterized, like surgery from a god with a grudge. Terry finds one bull, his pride stock, dropped in a field he checked an hour prior. Organs cored out, the cavity sterile, a chemical tang hanging in the air like hospital regret. 7 animals total, gone or gutted, turning their dream herd into a graveyard. Financially, it's ruin. Emotionally, it's war. The basin feels alive now, predatory, coiling tighter each night. Now I gotta pause here, friends, because as much as this tale's got its claws in me, part of me wonders, in a place that remote, with isolation gnawing at your edges, could the mind start weaving its own monsters? Stress from the move, the money woes, long nights with nothing but wind for company. It's a recipe for shadows to stretch longer than they should. Maybe that wolf was a big dog in the dark, the lights, swamp gas fooling the eye. Not saying it's all smoke, but something to chew on, right? But even if doubt creeps in, the Shermans couldn't shake the dread. By spring '96, it's unbearable. The final straw? Terry's out with the dogs, urging them after a rogue blue orb, bobbing like a will-o-wisp near the house. They charge into the brush, yapping furious, then silence. 3 dogs, loyal as shadows, never come back. No collars, no bones, just empty leashes whipping in the breeze. That's it. They list the ranch, whispering their horrors to anyone who'll listen, but buyers bolt at the tails. Until word reaches a certain aerospace whisperer with deep pockets and a deeper curiosity. He sees not curse, but cosmic opportunity. The Shermans sign over the deed and flee the basin. But the land? It keeps its secrets, humming low, waiting for the next fool to knock. Skinwalker Ranch is born in their wake, a nexus where UFOs dance with cryptids, portals yawn, and the veil stays forever thin. Terry and Gwen, they speak of it now with that haunted hush, lives forever forked by what slunk through the dark. And in the end, isn't that the real terror? Knowing the door's unlocked and whatever's out there, it knows your name? Sweet dreams, basin or not.
Amused? Try Flort, Matt. That dog vanishing? Chills. But hey, if it's all mind tricks, my imagination's too vivid for its own good.
Fair. But whether portal or paranoia, the Sherman story reminds us some places don't let go. They've got hooks in deeper than we know. Thanks for riding this frequency with us, friends. Juniper, wrap us up.
What a ride through the shadows tonight, from idyllic pastures to portals that swallow dogs and dreams whole. The Sherman Ranch proves the basin's got stories that bite. Thanks for tuning in to episode 253. You've been the best company in the static. Keep those lines open. Drop us a line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Swing by shadowfrequencypodcast.com or on our socials on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Rumble. We're always chasing the next whisper. Join us next time for another plunge into the weird. You won't want to miss it. Matt, do you want to say goodnight?
Night, frequency fiends, sleep tight. And if the wind murmurs, listen close.
That's the signal fading until the static calls again. Stay strange out there.
This episode was conjured with a solemn vow. to explore the unexplained while remaining bound to the truths that have been unearthed. All interpretations are speculative and offered only for your enlightenment and your entertainment.